10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The voice of the unconquerable. We welcome you to the Never Give Up radio show. I will never give up. I will never give up. Please welcome the motivators. Matthew L. Cox, Mr. Never Give Up. The Never Give Up radio show. The Motivators.
Hello, Never Give Uppers. This is Matthew Cox, your host, along with Mr. Never Give Up, on the phone with us, all the way from Spain.
Hello, Never Give Uppers. This is Mr. Never Give Up, calling from Madrid, Spain.
So, Mr. Never Give Up, what is the difference between motivating someone and responsibility? How do those two work?
Motivating someone isn't like consoling someone. Motivating is giving people a reason not to quit, to move on, and point out their own responsibilities. Responsibility is a unique concept. Many people try to share it with others, pointing out the finger at others, but that never diminishes your own portion of responsibility, especially in relationships. This is the topic of this week.
So speaking of relationships, Mr. Never Give Up, I have a question for you. So if there was someone who invested more than the other person, do you see that this can cause a lot of pain?
Nothing hurts more than realizing that someone was everything to you, but that you meant nothing to him or her. Some people will never fit in your life, no matter how much you want them to. That kind of frustration is a result of tricking yourself into believing that your pain derives from your ex-partner and that consequently your ex deserves to be punished. This is a terrible real thing, but in a terrible false perspective. And I believe that this is the reason why so many people are in so much pain. If you act as a victim, this mindset produces a delusion of fault and blame that blinds you from the simple truth. The secret of change and recovery is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building something new. One very important message is, love yourself enough to never lower your standards for anyone. Love yourself enough to never lower your standards for anyone. Part of loving is learning to let go. Love is a feeling and not a decision to make. Let go someone who has to make a decision about being with you or not. You should never have to convince someone into loving you and waiting to be with you. You deserve to see someone who can easily see what's special in you. Many people get hurt, not because they found the truth, but because they were running away from the truth. Never lie to yourself. Anger at lies lasts forever. Anger at truth can't last.
So, Mr. Never Give Up, why do people stay in relationships when they know it's unhealthy?
Mostly, it is fear of the unknown. Like we say, better the devil we know than the devil we don't know. But when you are in a relationship, never let fear rule your life, even if you are scared to lose everything you have. Giving up on a relationship in which you are unhappy doesn't mean you are weak. It means that you are strong enough to let go and realize when enough is enough. This is the greatest mistake that people do when they meet love. They try to possess it. They demand. They expect. But love is meant to be free. You cannot change its nature. If there are people you love, allow them to be free beings. Give, but don't expect. Advise, but don't order. Ask, but never demand. What we find in a soulmate is not someone wild to tame, but someone wild to run with.
So, Mr. Never Give Up, what is the definition of love?
When you love someone for his appearance, it's not love, but attraction. When you love someone for his intelligence, it's not love, but admiration. When you love someone for money, it's not love, but profit. When you love someone without knowing why, that is love. Never enter a relationship with the wrong purpose, because even if the lie is beautiful, the truth is what you face in the end. Do not let the world convince you that trusting man or woman is for fools and forgiving for the weak. These gifts are blessings given to you that prove that you have an amazing capacity to love and that you have goodness in your heart.
Mr. Never Give Up, this is powerful stuff when it comes to relationships. A lot of times people will blame each other or somebody else for the faults. I love what you're talking about today, and I want to go right into the next part of the show, is our quote of the day. What do you have for us today, Mr. Never Give Up?
Don't choose the one who is beautiful to the world, but rather choose the one who makes your world beautiful.
So, Mr. Never Give Up, I really love the quote because what comes to my mind is inner beauty. This is a concept that a lot of us forget because a lot of times we're so attracted from the outside. That's just one way that God has created us. You have to realize there's an attraction. That's what brings us together. We cannot avoid it. We cannot look past it. There's the first time, if you ever think about when you've seen your mate or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or even your wife or spouse or your partner, there was an attraction that occurred. That is called chemistry, and you can't deny it. I know a lot of times we think, oh, we can't be attracted to that other person, but I want you to be careful about that because that's what binds you together. That's what brings you together. But then it's our job and our responsibility as individuals or as human beings is to then explore the inner beauty. Who is that person? Can I grow old with that person? I know a lot of times when I sit with couples and I'm doing couple coaching, one of the things I always ask them is this question. Can you see yourself with that person, 80 years, 90 years old, on a porch, rocking back and forth? Will you still be in love with them once the beauty goes away? Once the wrinkles set in, once the gray hair gets there, once the body starts doing crazy things without your knowledge? That's the thing you have to understand as a couple. Will you still love that individual for who they are, their intellectual part of them, who motivates you, who makes you be better? When you have a partner, do they let you be free? Do they let you explore and be who you are, or do they enable you and bring you down? And if they're those kind of energy suckers, you have to really understand. What if one of you were very highly driven and have goals, and the other one has no goals? What do you do in that kind of circumstance? Because eventually resentment will set in. It's just a common thing. Somebody has to meet somebody at the same level. Now, do you have to have the same purpose or the same goals in life? No, because you're individuals, and you have to have your own life purpose. But as a couple, you have a purpose together. You're building a home. You're managing those things. This is the thing with relationships. A lot of times we get our purposes mixed or crosswired. So when it comes to relationships, a lot of times when that crosswiring occurs, we then become victimized to the circumstance. But here's the thing. We all go into relationships knowing what we're getting into, but we expect a different result. And Einstein always said, if you do the same thing over and over and expect a different result, that is the definition of insanity. And here's the thing you never give up, is you have to understand when these emotional events occur in your life, you have to decide if I'm going to remain a victim. And these patterns, as we call them, they always occur because we were taught those patterns from experiences in our lives. You repeat the same thing in the same type of relationships in your life because that's what you've done. You're attracted to the same type of person because if you're a caretaker, you're going to nurture those broken and wounded kind of individuals. If you're a motivator, you're going to attract certain people. You have to be patient and look for that one person that has the criteria that you're looking for. Now, a lot of people would say, is that too hard to wait? And I would tell you, no. It's just a matter of patience. And this is one of the biggest things when it comes to relationships, as I've seen. A lot of people are not patient. They want to force things or they want to rush it. If it's 1 month, if it's 9 months, if you do the right thing and build that relationship, it doesn't matter if it takes you a year to then learn, because it's going to be a lifetime. You have to reflect on back on that rocking chair. What is it going to be like when you're sitting in the rocking chair at 80 and 90 years old? Because you're going to live that long if you're healthy and you're working hard and you're doing things. Or even if it's a short span, if something happens, a crisis or a loss of a loved one, can you love that person forever? I say yes. The thing is, you have to decide, what does it look like to you? This is one of the biggest concepts when it comes to love, because love is the most profound emotion that we know as human beings. For most people, it's the romantic relationship that we look for, or the most meaningful element in life. But to create the skill set to love somebody healthy, that's what we have to learn to do. Now, it's okay if you've had broken relationships or you've suffered pain. The biggest thing is life is about the knowledge that you're gaining. And here's the 3 elements you have to have when it comes to relationships and love. Be willing to communicate in them, know what you're going to do, have that knowledge in it, and learn and study how to be better at what you do. And make the changes. Be coachable, be teachable, be willing to admit you're wrong and ask for forgiveness. And be willing to forgive others in that relationship. And know that it is a skill set that you can learn to be a good, effective lover. But here's the big thing that you have to understand, you never give uppers, is it starts with you. Let me repeat that again. It starts with you. Everything ripples out from you when it comes to this topic. It has to begin with you. Anything that occurs in life is that you have to love yourself, you have to respect yourself, and you have to know yourself. This is the biggest struggle I know for me personally I've had in my life, on the events that I've had emotionally. This has been an emotion that I've struggled with in my life, you never give uppers. Everybody has a never give up story or a pain story that have occurred in their life. You right now might be dealing with it as you listen to this show with me and Mr. Never Give Up. Things are going to hit you home. In my life, I've experienced pain also. I've had a really tough divorce that put me back and made me not love myself. Then it had that a ripple effect that occurred. If you can't love yourself, how can you love others around you? That's one of the journeys in life that we will experience as human beings. You have to learn to love yourself before you can give to others. Self-actualization is one of the biggest things that a lot of people have a hard time with. Who are we, what are we doing, and what is our purpose? Once you find those things out, then you can bring others in your world and be healthy. Honesty is one of the biggest things, and honesty is with yourself. It starts with you and then ripples out. I know in my life, as I went through these trials and these struggles, a lot of times we'll put a facade up and we'll show people things that are not really there. Because we want to hide that emotional pain. We don't want you to see the emotional pain that we're suffering from because of the events that have occurred in our lives when it comes to relationships. That emotion is always what we hide first. And the biggest thing is once you're honest with yourself and you can heal from that and you can move over, and it's all about choice, knowing not to stay as a victim, even though that the event maybe wasn't your fault. Maybe your boyfriend broke up with you, or somebody cheated on you, or your divorce that you had was just a really bad and ugly one. The thing is, you have a choice. Stay as a victim and then repeat that cycle with others in your life. Or choose to heal and move on and find those healthy people in your life. It's up to you. You get to choose, and that's the greatest thing of being alive. And knowing that you're alive, you're still sucking air, aren't you? And you have to know that. You have a chance to change the behaviors. And the biggest thing is I want to leave you with, the 2 greatest motivators when it comes to relationship and love is fear versus love. These are the 2 greatest motivators that all human beings face. I can rule my life out of fear when it comes to relationships, or I can choose to love unconditionally. Know that those people around you are imperfect, just like you are. They all have a baggage of imperfect knowledge and imperfect habits. And you're probably saying, yes, my husband doesn't lift the toilet or put it down, and I'm ready to hurt him, right? And you have to know that that imperfection makes them human. And that thing that occurs, you do the same thing. But have understanding where it gets us in relationships is not having patience. We have a high expectation when we go into things. I want you to be like me and me like you. And the thing is that high expectations, I want you to understand this, is all your frustrations that you will have in your lifetime will be your unmet expectations. So does that make sense? All your frustrations will be your unmet expectations. So make sure your expectations are verbalized. Make sure that you give a chance for them to say, I can meet them or I cannot. That is the key, and that is the trick to having happiness in a relationship, even if you should stay together or let go. Sometimes we'll hold on to relationships that are toxic and unhealthy because of the fear of our expectation of being alone or not having something, or this is as good as it's going to get. And that's that past experience that you've had, that you're not good enough to have what you should. And sometimes to let go is love, because sometimes you know that it's not good and healthy, and you have to know that when it's time to let go. So that's our message for this week, you never give uppers. Make sure, when is it time to let go, and when is it time to love? When is it time to keep it and fight for that thing that you really want? So Mr. Never Give Up, what a powerful show this has been. I hope our Never Give Uppers have been listening to it with their hearts. Do you have any advice you would like to leave with our Never Give Uppers for the week?
When you are in a relationship or looking to start one, this is my advice. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Listen to your intuition. When you move forward in a relationship with someone who you know deep down isn't right for you, you set yourself up to learn a painful lesson. Make sure when someone gives you their heart, there is no one still lingering in it. You shouldn't have to invest your time and energy on a heart that's not all yours. Know when to let go. Don't try to stretch a season into a lifetime. Remember, love doesn't hurt you. A person that doesn't know how to love hurts you. Don't get it twisted.
So, Mr. Never Give Up, what a powerful show this has been for our Never Give Uppers. And when it comes to love, love is one of the emotions that bind all humanity together. It brings us together with pain or adversity, whatever it may be. How you see love is how you feel and how you perceive it. The biggest thing is knowing that you have to learn to have unconditional love. So that's the show for this week, you Never Give Uppers. Go visit our website or our Facebook page. Join our Facebook and you'll find the answers for last week's quiz on gossiping. And also, we're going to put this week's quiz on the Facebook page. So go visit nevergiveupradioshow.com and then follow the links to our Facebook and join our page. You'll find a lot of information there as we continue to do these shows. We love to have you part of the community, you Never Give Uppers. Continue to listen, give us feedback in what you want to hear on topics and other issues out there. Until next time, you Never Give Uppers, I'm Matthew Cox, your host, along with Mr. Never Give Up. And always remember, never give up on your dreams. And we're always here for you. Take care.
You're listening to the Never Give Up Radio Show. The Motivators.